Hey, good morning, everybody. How you doing out there? Welcome to November 6th, 2025. It is Thursday, another great day of trading coming up. This morning, we're going to be looking at stocks that are beat down, oversold, and it looks like coming up from the bottom, or at least trying, okay? First, I want to remind everybody out there that we still have available 14-day fact to the Road to Wealth account, which has tripled in the last 10 months. The statement will be out in about 4 days from Tasty. Also, at this time, we're still offering a 2-hour coaching. I'll be doing the coaching. First week, we'll get an hour. The second week, we'll get an hour. That's full hour coaching, getting you up and running for doubling your account or even tripling your account, or at least you'll get the print that I use to do that to my account. So you'll find the link all on our social media. At the very least, subscribe to our social media, YouTube, Book X. Love to have you on our team. Okay, now let's get going. All righty, that up there. And everybody, sorry I'm a little late. How's everybody doing? Click some buttons here. There we go. All right. Hey, good morning, Vernon. Good morning, April. Good morning over there. Hey, Raleigh, Ricardo, how you doing? Alan, Melinda, Ricardo, I'll be giving you a ring today. We'll catch up and talk, okay? Melinda, Coach, Julie up there, good morning. How's everybody, Daryl? Okay, Sharon. All righty. So let's talk about the market. Let me fix this real quick. There we go. We'll do that. How's that? Let's talk about the market real quick and some charts. We're going to look at some charts a little differently this morning. I've got kind of a mess up here, but let me try to outline it and show you what I've got. So we're going to have to get over. I mean, you just have to. And as we move up, we're going to have to get these highs over here. That's just red boxes for danger zone. I drew this up here last night for members in the trading room for several stocks. We're not going to look at all of them, but basically all the mag stocks, big ones. And I think we still have some trouble going here. Now, I also still think that we're bullish because my trend indicator is still blue, or still there, but it's still green. Price is still above it. We're kind of in this wedge right here, right? So something's got to give, and we're out and go, or we're going to break down. And right through here is some pretty dangerous trading. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people, and there's quite a few folks a little bit underwater on some positions. I'm underwater. Yesterday was a horrible day for me. I'm willing to catch up now, but get there. I'm not worried about it. You just have to trade smart and know when to back off the gas pedal and know when to hit that gas pedal. So I'm still in back off mode. I sense some things are maybe getting a little bit better, but we'll see how the day goes. Okay. But anyway, SPY, I just don't think quite ready yet because we need to break out and prove. And here's something here it's going to have to do. Let's make that red a little. So break out back and test, and we're going to have to get through this whole danger area, which is all these tops, before we can start running that 700. I think that is in the cards, okay? But getting there, it may be a little rough. And we're going to lose some traders. Some traders are going to blow their account up. They're going to be gone because they're not paying attention. And it's always, go, push the gas pedal. You need to back off. So just be a little cautious right now is what I would say. Be a little cautious, okay? All right, so that's with the SPY here. Let's look at the Qs. Kind of the same sort of thing. We're up here and, we could draw this trend line down now. I have to get through all this, I mean, what kind of mess is this up here? Good grief. Horrible. We're going to have to chew through it to break out to get going. If we start moving back below the dots down, they turn red, that's a problem. The 50 period moving average could get tagged a little bit. Take a look at some of those, that mag chart, Magnificent 7 ETF. I mean, look at that candle pattern in there. Not cool. Let's look at a 2-day, 3-day. I'm trying to clean it up. 4-day, 5-day. I don't know. Could be a hangman right in there, right? But here we're talking tweezer tops. So if we can get through, great. If we get through, great. But if be prepared, could be a problem, right? So have some shorts on the side. All right. Let's take a look at 21-23, and then I've got some charts here for you to look at. T21-23, you can still see that we're still in the toilet. We're not good. The trend is not, it's not working. Therefore, tells me to be a little bit careful as we're trading today, or any day we're downhill with this. Now, VXX is actually down, so that's a good thing. Okay, so it's showing that there's no fear in the market. When there's no fear in the market, the bulls can kind of roll up and down the street and kind of pick out what they want to do, and things like that. The bears aren't real crazy, so that could be very good for the market. If the VIX does pick up, then we would have a problem. But right now, maybe we just chew through this area and pop out the other side, and there we are, bullish again. So hopefully that'll happen. All right, talking about disaster this morning. I was working on some trade ideas this morning, and I thought I would use something from the old days, my old days of trading, where picking the bottom, moving up, and something from really the old days, which I'm going to call now the modified pinball setup. And there's some stocks that's popping up on that. I'd like to go through those. Yes, there were several people that were in the trading room that were looking for stocks that were oversold, maybe at a bottom, looking for a little longer term move up. And I'm not sure they're necessary term, but they might be. There's some good 20%ers there heading back to, say, the period moving average. Here's one that we bought yesterday. And the way I look at these, it leaf rally back to a major moving average. Okay, so we bought some ASST, currently up 11%. So that's working out yesterday. So what I'm looking at, the whole scan is written to 50 period moving average, and this is 96%. Now, if somebody wanted to trade it and hold it the whole time, hey, 96%, I would call that a nice trade right there. Okay, so if we if we look at that, and we can just that would be amazing, wouldn't it? Now, right through here, right through there, I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of hard on the chart to see, but there's the 5 period moving average, and that level up is 38%. That would be one hell of a trade on its own right in there. So again, like I say, I'm just looking for a rally in here on this trade, just the stock, but it's looking pretty good right now. I'm kind of liking that. There's a few others out. Let's take a look at DEC. DEC is another one. Here we are, down big time. I did some work on that. I just put this line up here to give us that 50% retracement. That's always my little sweet spot target to see that. May not hold here to here, but I sure like to see it. Anyway, on DEC, from where we are up to that's 20%, and then to the 50 period moving average is 25%. So this might want to take a look at. Now, I know there's a lot of people that might be thinking, "Oh, Rick, it's not over the trend indicator here." I know, and at some point, traders, you're going to have more than one tool in the toolbox. You're going to have more than one way to trade. That's all this is. It's just another tool in the toolbox, And if you'd rather wait for price to move over the trend indicator, then one thing you might do is look at intraday, go to the 60-minute chart. If that that might help you make those decisions, if at least we've pulled over that trend indicator for those that really follow that a lot. And I do. So, I mean, that's something I'll look at. But yeah, let's come back up here. Sorry, I wasn't disorganized, I guess. There we go. So there's that. That's not the one. So here's that ASST that we bought yesterday. You can see how it was up over the trend indicator. And you can bet I thought before I bought it, to make something there. So something to do. Anyway, an idea. Let's look at FE. Here's another. And again, these are just relief rallies back to the 50-period moving average. And you see, well, that's nothing, Well, I don't. From just right there at the low, I guess, at the low there, 2%. That's a trade. So I would keep an eye on that one. Anyway, these are things. This is the way I used to trade years ago. This is how the pinball setup got started. Is very similar to this. Anyway, I thought everyone might like something like this. Here's other beat down. We're pretty far from that 50-period move. That's 53%. And the reason I look for these, forever, is if you just go back and look at the history of the chart, it is absolutely amazing how price turns to something. Okay, now what is that something? Well, the 50-period moving average is a big one. Price likes to return to it. Doesn't matter if its price is up here, it will return to it. Price is down here, it will return to it. And you can see how it return, but yet maintain its downtrend. So all we're looking for is simple relief rallies. That's it. It's just a boom. Could last 1 day, could last 5 days, could last 10 days. We're managing price up to or near that period moving average. Take a look at SF down here. SFM could be headed that way. Here we have a low, high, higher low. We start to break out of that high, that might put us into a buy scenario, and then a relief rally back to the 50s, 30%. So it's just a matter of managing that trade from here up to here. And there's certainly, some obstacles along the way, but that's what trade management is. That's what trading is. ATOM, look at that one, ATOM. That one gets going. There's 28% back to that 50-period moving average. And if you just go back and look at the history of the chart, you'll see how, back to the 50, back to the 50, back to the 50, down to the 50, back up, down, back up, back up. So again, it's just a relief rally to the 50-period moving average. And it doesn't mean that it can't go higher. That's just the trade plan. It is all it is. So take ASST, the one we're in. So my trade plan on that is, right now, to the 50. But I have to take in consideration that the 500-period moving average is right here. So that might play a big part. May not get to the 50. So I'll watch price as we move up. But even there, that's a 50% trade. So if I don't like what price is doing in here, if I don't like the way the trend is acting, I can close it out. Let it pull back, and we can start this process all over again. BHVN, gap down yesterday. Here we are. So this might be one to take a look at over the next several days. I don't know if I'd be in this one today or not. But there's a few of them out there. OGN. We've got the low, the high. We've come down and made a higher low. So now we start taking out that high right there. Now we can go to town on this. And what is that, 33%? Even if you made half that money, just half that money, you'd be as happy as can be. Sorry, no. Needed to wet my throat there a little bit. So anyway, let's see. Daryl's asking, I recall your past videos from your pinball setup. You used to look at the 60-minute and mark the 34 EMA. Actually, I would mark the 34 EMA on the daily. And yeah, you could definitely do that. The pinball setup requires the 34 EMA. It also would require, well, let's go look at that AST. See, AST, it's a pinball setup starting here. And I would actually close it out right now if it was tagging that 34 EMA. But I'm trading something a little different. I'm not going to close it out. I'm willing to hold it longer. Look, like I say, that modified pinball setup where we're really looking for above the T line and the 50 period average. And we're looking for, 30, 40% moves is, the possibility of 30, 40% moves up there is what that. So I'll play with the code and I'll put that out here in the room today. I think I may have been out there, but we'll do more. Let's take a look at that deck, and then we'll look at some others here. See how deck is here. So right now, deck pinball setup. It's not even a pinball setup. It would have to be over T line, and then there'd be the 34 up here, which is about 9.5, maybe 10%. This is more of a modified off the bottom, manage the trade as it moves up. We'll look at that 60-minute, and you can see it is starting to cross up. So you could certainly start the game on that 60-minute using, price of the T line above the trend indicator, and which is a great way to look at it. You can see the momentum build on that 60-minute. And then when we get to the daily, we cross over, you can see the momentum build over the T line or the 8 EMA, which is the black line. And once you cross the red, that turns green. Now you've got some really, really nice momentum cooking. You've got buyers in there. So anyway, let's take a look at a few others. Bank of America was just sent to me by someone. And Bank of America is setting up here pretty nice. MU is looking pretty good here. That's good. So, hey, S, BMY, you're looking at BMY. Yeah, I set it. Let me get rid of that 34. I don't like that on my chart. There we go. Yeah, that's setting up a rounded bottom breakout there. Yeah. The rounded bottom came from the pinball setup, and the pinball setup came from basically bottom picking. They're the same kind of trade. They're just moved up the ladder a little bit. A little more safety as you move up. You've got a little more support underneath you with the moving averages. So, yeah. Here, I've got some other charts that I've written down. I think we should go look at. Let's go take a peek at IAG. Look at IAG here. We gapped up yesterday. We ended up pulling back yesterday, but we stayed above that 50 period moving average. So we could be on our way for about 6.5, maybe under a little 7% to that 57 or 50% retracement, and the way up that gives you about 14% up there. So AIG might be in the game. I don't know who's following Fuel Cell. I would imagine there's some folks in Fuel Cell, but I mean that's looking really, really good right here. Off that 50 period moving average there. I'm going to delete everything here. Probably shouldn't have done that actually. And I'm going to come down from this top and go to the bottom right there. And then there's going to be the 50% retracement back up, snap back up. I think you've got a nice chart pattern. To me, that looks like it's going to get that. So you're looking at 13, almost 14%. Then I think we ought to put another target up here, right here. And that's at that 61.8 retracement. So now, you're looking at 18, 19%. That's a nice trade on fuel cells. So let's make sure we keep that one on our list. I'll look for any help. We've got a lot of social media, a lot of people can chime in. So if you see something like this happening, notify us, man. Post it on our Facebook, post it on our Discord account, post it in the room. Somebody will see it. You'll be rewarded. If you do that, you'll be rewarded. We appreciate things like that. So do us a favor and do that. I say you'll get rewarded. Take a look at BTU. I know a lot of people have traded BTU past, made a lot of money in BTU. BTU's had a nice rest. It's pulled back. Well, maybe it's time for it to go back to work. Here we bounced right off the 50-period moving average up. Look at that great consolidation. Once we break out of that 30, 32 area, I would look at around 3150, followed by 33 up here. Let's duplicate that and bring that up like that. Okay. But I think BTU is looking mighty fine. So we got to put that on our. And again, if you're out there, if you're not part of our room, that's okay. We'd like you to be. But give us a post on the social media. Let us know what you're looking at. You might be surprised what you might gain out of that. And anyway, we can keep an eye on it. Hey, Sharon, good morning. You're looking at Snap. Yeah, look at Snap go. That's a buy, by the way, right now. We've got yes candle. And as long as we hold up, I'm going to put a line right there. Long as we hold up above about that 845, I would call that a buy. And then for that to move higher. Here's the 500 period moving average. That would be the first target for me. And it would have to get, and then we could look for something to go higher as well. Hey, Emma, you're looking at, I wrote that down on my hot list last night. And SLB, I've got it set up. But yeah, I agree with you. SLB looking really, really good. That's a buy right now. I think this is a good buy right now because your risk is minimal. The way I look at risk anyway, because if it can't hold above the 200 period moving average, or basically that line right there, well, I wouldn't want it anyhow. So we're talking less than 1.5% risk on this one. And there it is. I mean, it could be monstrous compared to 1.5% risk. So yeah, I'm all about SLB right now. Yeah, totally agree. How about some KGC? Look at KGC moving up. Nice gap up, holding above the 50. It looks like we're showing a little bit of positive trade over yesterday. If we were to do this right here, take this high, move down to the lowest low. There we go. And then just put a line right in here where that's, and that's the sweet spot for me, sweet target spot. And there is your 61.8 retracement, and we can go one up higher if you want, right there. That looks like a great swing trade setting up. Here's one I'm watching pretty close because I want it. Is SAR, USAR, yeah. Let's get this thing out of the way. It's kind of bothersome. So I'm watching this. I'm going to buy this today just to buy it because, well, I want to. And now that earnings, I think, is over, maybe. Just pick this up. And, what's the risk? To me, actually, that is a lot. Holy crap. Yikes. That's a lot. I was looking at the 200 moving average down here. And good grief, it's 19%. That's more risk than I want. So I'll have to trade this a little bit different. But I'm very, very interested in it. Back up, just to go from these highs to the lows, and then back up to the 50%, snap back up area. My, that's 74%. Boats are bought on that kind of, so maybe that'll be my pontoon boat. I don't know, but I'm looking at that one right there. CRML is another one I've got my eyes on. It's beat down. It's sitting at the 50 period moving average. And this one, let's see, I didn't do this one. you do it. There we go. There's the lows there. So let's just go back up here. We're talking 80% just to get halfway back up that move. And I think the risk is good because below the 50, you want out of it. You don't want in this thing at all. So anyway, I think that's, pretty good there. Hey, Coach, you're looking at some GM. What was it? AB? GM. Yeah, look at GM AB. Big bullish engulf yesterday. Totally agree with you. That's a nice looking chart. Let's flag that. So let's do this again. Go from those highs down, right? Okay. So from here up to that 50%, that's 8%. You get all the way, 14%. Nice trade. So let's watch for that one. Pop up like this. We start popping up. That's going to bring a whole new set of traders in. And man, how sweet is that? A buy down here, risk of 3% on that. I see that as a trade, don't you? Yeah. Nice one, Coach. Thanks. I'm going to actually write that one down so I don't lose track of it. GMAB. All righty. Hey, Hot Stocks, how you doing? You're looking at some ego. Yeah, man. Ego. There we go. Ego. Yeah. Now, nice bottom on ego. Yeah, very, very nice bottom. We've moved across the trend indicator now, so that's all cool. When the T line gets up there, I think that'll be sweet. Gold might be coming back here. Let's keep an eye on it. It's been beat down a little bit. I think the dollar might be waffling a little bit, so gold might be coming in there. I like that. I like the bottom. I love the bottom actually. And now that we've broken out, I would say we're in buy territory. A lot of people would buy after it breaks out of the 50. There's no doubt in my mind you'll get a pullback, a retest. So yeah, I'm all about that. So I'm going to do this right here. That whole area right there is a buy area. That in that green circle. Okay, I think that would be the whole buy area. And then looking at RGLD. Let's look at that one. I like that a lot. So here we are down big time. Let's take this top and go to the bottom. Okay. 50% mark is right there at the 50 period moving average. And about 9% up there and then maybe higher. So far, it looks like we're putting in that bottom here. So the stop, you don't want to go lower. It could just, keep going. So you stop the bottom of those candles. It hasn't really taken off. That's 2.5–3% maybe. So if you're a gold bug and you want some gold, this would be one. I think, risk reward is good, I guess, is what I would say. Risk reward is good on it. And gold, I don't know that you can go wrong with gold in this year, next year. I think gold's going to be with us for a lot of reasons. So let's see, AR rounded bottom breakout. Yes, sir. Thanks, Mr. Goodson. Yeah, look at that. You pop up. And this is one of those where, we go from below the 50, retrace back 50. Now what are we going to do? Bulls are still hanging in there. Now what we look at here is to retrace back to the 200 period moving average. This doesn't have quite 10%, but what? Let's don't shoot it. I think we've got a nice chart here. So let's flag that. But getting into that rounded bottom breakout sort of kind of trade doesn't meet all the criteria, but the mechanics is there. The design is there. So I'm all about it. Thank you very much. Hey, Sharon, little Lulu. Yeah. I think what we need to see on Lulu is to actually Lulu itself up a bit. We need to see a tiny bit of follow through. And if it would just do that, we may be putting in a nice bottom here. I'm going to get rid of all that. Here, that makes it even look better. Here, let's do this. There we go. Now we're cooking. We've got a double bottom in here. If we just saw a little bit of movement, it's very buyable now. Your risk is very, very small. 4 or 5%. So very small risk. We pop over that 50. That's going to bring in a whole different kind. Let's make that bigger over there. There we go. That'll bring in a whole different kind of trader, and then that could really start moving that up. So yeah, I'm with you. Let's flag that one. Keep an eye on it. Hey, do me a favor. If you buy it, will you let me know? Sharon, appreciate it. Wouldn't mind following you in it. D-Dog. Yeah, I saw that this morning. D-Dog, look at that. Thing about D-Dog, what are you going to do with it? I don't know. For those that are gap traders, you may jump on that, but it's up and away for sure. Yeah. Let's see. RF. Hey, we need to get to a ending point here, folks. RF moving up. Here we are over the trend indicator. Are we going to get a relief rally back to that 50 period moving average for about 4, maybe 5%, depending on where? Very possible. Very possible. Especially if the market starts to kick off a little bit. That. Hey, William, some airlines, DAL. I don't know what you're looking at. I don't know what, we're starting to move up here. I don't think I'd be a buyer of DAL till it actually broke with it down here. I mean, you can, I guess, just put your stop in, do things like that. But I think I want it to break out of here is what I would want. Yeah. Or at least get above the trend indicator and, get some momentum back into it is what I would. UAL. UAL needs a breakout. I mean, that's all there is to it. Hard to trade until you get back up already. Okay. Hey, let's call this a morning. I need to get all this recording up and done and finished. We'll see the members back here in about 5 minutes at the bottom of the hour. Everybody for being here. Absolutely appreciate it. Thank you so very much. We'll see you tomorrow. Remember, every day, Friday, 8:30 a.m. right in the room and live on social. You guys all take care. Thank you. Appreciate it.